Today I'll be discussing about the third part of your fourth unit, that is multi-threading. The offline classes have been started already from Monday, and this online classes will be there at the morning session, and after then you will be having offline class, and the same thing will be explained, but be attentive towards the offline as well as online classes. Okay, today I'll be discussing about what actually meant by an multi-threading and the life cycle of multi-threading, how actually it is going to work within a program, why multi-threading is being a best feature of your Java programming language. Okay, so Java is multi-threaded programming language, which means we can develop multi-threaded program using Java. Multi-threads means thread is a process, we can call. Process means execution of a program. Okay, within a simple statement, if there is a complications or a confusions are there at that position, if you wanted to break those all the confusions by segregating or by separating them in a form of process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can call them as what? Threads. When that threads are called by a single statement, we can call that one as multi-threading. Okay, means you can take a simple example. OS is a multi-threaded programming because we can execute, we can see the word, we can see the Excel not at a time, but at the background they will be executing. Whenever you are going to have a click on that one, it is going to open. Okay, ultimately we can listen the music. Okay, if you are working with a word and you can listen the music, multi-threading we can call. A single program if you are working, that is called as normal. Okay, there is no any differences you are going to have. When you are going to work and at the background some another works are going on, we can call them as what? Multi-threading. On the depending upon their process speed or on the depending upon their way of execution, it will be defining those all the things, we can call them as multi-threads. A multi-thread program consists of two or more parts that can run concurrently, and each part can handle a different task at the same time, making optimal use of the available resource, specifically when your computer has multiple CPUs. So what is going to say here? Multi-threaded program contains two or more parts, two or more executions, and they will be running concurrently. Concurrently means when you need at the background they will be there. When you need, if you just click on that one, it is going to open. There is no necessity to go back once again at the start menu, go for it, execute them, not like that way. But if you are having a part execution at the end, and they will be doing different tasks only, because word is used for writing purpose of the mails or documents, Excel is used for creation of a table, calculation of something, PPTs are used to create the presentations, some video or audio or YouTube is used for listening the music. So all of these are executed or run by a simple OS, and you are executing them in a form of concurrently or clicking concurrently, whichever it is used, you can go for it. At the background, if YouTube is going on, you can listen to the music, there is no any problem. We can call them as what? Optimal usage. Optimal means when there is a necessity, you will be defining them, or you are going to see them when you are going to access it. Okay, multitasking is when multiple processes share common processing resources such as a CPU. So you can see here, he is going to make a difference between multitasking and multi-threading. Multitasking means you can store the information in the CPU, you can make the calculation of the information, you can set a stable control on the other different hardware and software equipments within the CPU. So 4 to 5 different types of tasks you are going to work on a single part, we can call that one as a common process, common sharing a common process, sharing common process, CPU is going to do these all the things, storing the information, calculation is going to do, handling the hardware and software equipments, each and everything can be done there. Okay, multi-threading extends the idea of multitasking. So he is going to say threading makes the usage of the main peculiar part of your multitasking into an application where you can subdivide specific operation within a single application into individual threads. Each of threads can run in an parallel. Then the OS divides processing time not only among different applications but also among each thread within an application. So what is going to say? It is going to do, but it depends upon when and how we should have to execute them. So complexity of programs can be reduced and you can execute them without having any disturbances. Okay, so we can call that one as what? Multi threading or multitasking. Multi-threading enables you to write in any way, in a way where multiple activities can proceed concurrently in the same program. So we can take a simple example. If the program is consisting of reading, writing, calculating condition, these all the things are written in a single program. At that position, some of the very beginner student could not understand that particular thing. At that position, those all the things can be subdivided and you can call those all the things by defining a thread within a program. That is called as multi-threading. Means reading separately, printing separately, making calculation separately, then after going with the conditional control statements can be executed separately. Like that way we can define them. That is nothing but called as multi-threading also. Then we shall go for the next one, very important for a 5 marks question. It will be asked within your examination. That is a life cycle of a thread. A life cycle means until you execute the program, thread is going to be alive. If you are going to stop the execution of a program, thread dies. That is nothing but called as a life cycle. So a thread goes through various stages in its life cycle. For example, a thread is born, started, runs and then dies. The following diagram shows the complete life cycle of a thread. What? When you start to write a thread will be set in the form of it is been executing. When it is executing, then you are going to call and you wanted to runnable. Runnable means waiting stage. It comes and waits for whether the other processes are there or not. It is going to wait for this one, that is called as runnable. Then afterwards, when runnable makes into the running, then ultimately what it is going to do, it is going to execute. And then afterwards, if you are going to say sleep or wait, sleeping means for a certain time period you have to wait for the things, otherwise it will look like that way. After completion of then it can go directly from waiting to dead. Or if there is no any functions called as sleep or a wait or nothing else, then the complete thread can be executed and it can be gone to, or it can be set to be dead. So what it is means, why we are going to say runnable and waiting stages here. Runnables means it is going to wait for a particular time until some other threads are executing. Runnable, it is going to waiting. So you are standing in a queue, you are not going to be given directly at the time of when you are standing, you are not going to get any tickets directly. Whether you are going to get any tickets directly, no. Like that way you should have to stand in a queue one by one, it will be going on. That is called as a running method, we can call. Then afterwards, when you got the ticket, you will be coming outside, means you are completed, your work is completed, means that is dead, means for you it is completed. That is like that way. If some problems are happened, ticketer is not giving the tickets, that time you are going to be set at waiting means it's might be there is a problem within issuing of ticket, or tickets have been completed, or it has been something like that happens within a within a theater. At that time it can be said as a waiting. Okay, so runnable and waiting are the same stages where in which the threads are waits for others, and then afterwards completion of its own execution of a threading, then it is going to be said as dead. So you're going to have a new stage, runnable stage, running stage, and waiting stage, as well as dead stage. These are the 5 different types of stages which are defined one by one here. How a new stage is used: a new thread begins its life cycle in a new state. It remains in this state until the program starts the thread. It is also referred to as a born thread. Means until user doesn't call that thread will be in a form of what? Born thread. It will be as a referred as a born thread. When it starts, it has been said as a new thread. Then running. After newly born thread is started, the thread becomes a runnable. First statement. Why? Because other threads or any another process are running, at that position it becomes runnable. Then afterwards it is going to run. Okay. Thread is in this state is considered to be executing its task. It is executing, but at the waiting stage. Waiting. Sometimes a thread transition to be to the waiting state while the thread waits for another thread to perform a task. As I said, some another threads are executing. At that position, you should have to wait until it completes its own task. A thread transitions back to the runnable state only when another thread signals the waiting thread to continue execution. So, at the time of waiting, if any another thread is executing, at that position newly coming thread is said to be what? You should have to be waiting. Then ultimately it will be coming back to its runnable state. So runnable means a runnable thread can enter the timed waiting state for a specified interval of time. A thread in this state transaction back to the runnable state when that time interval expires, or when the event it is waiting for occurs. Runnable means it has been given certain time, because one thread is executing and you should have to wait. After then only we can go for it. Simple example, you can take class. You are sitting within a classroom, and that position first hour is going on. Until unless the first hour he or she will be leaving off the stairs, the other could not come and start his or his own class. That is called as what? A runnable state. Terminated means a runnable thread enters the a terminated state when it completes its task or otherwise terminates. Means the working of that thread is completed, so you're going to stop there itself. That is nothing but called as what? Life cycles of threads. So I'll be stopping here itself. Rest other things